Hey folks, welcome back to Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin. We're here in Heide's Tower of Flame. Now what are we doing in Heide's Tower of Flame? I thought we were going to go off on a new spoke this episode. Well, turns out I changed my mind. Because there is a path on Heide's Tower of Flame that we have not followed yet. And if we put it off any longer, it might become trivial. So let's do it now. You'll remember I pointed out that there's this big cathedral over there, with a large drawbridge, and a mysterious red creature that appears to be resting outside. That is where we are going today. Now, I also believe I pointed out last time we were here that after we defeated the Dragon Rider, all the Heide Knights in the area woke up and started wandering around. You can see that one over there is up and at 'em. So once you beat the Dragon Rider, Heide's becomes a fair bit more dangerous. You know, the big, heavy, large dudes that I can't remember the names of right now are not too difficult at any point, I would argue. I say as I get hit. Especially now, we can just three-shot them quite easily. But the Heide's Knights are trickier. They are faster. They cause probably similar damage, I don't know. I can defeat them in the same number of hits, but they are a lot faster. I'm more likely to get hit by them. So my previous tactic seems to be serving me pretty well. You know, two-hand a strike weapon and hit him with a heavy attack. That seems to stun him long enough for me to get away. It's not the most elegant solution, but it works quite nicely. So I'm just clearing my way. Clearing my way back to the crossroads here. Gonna try to get rid of all these heavy dudes before I deal with the Heide Knight there, but that one doesn't want to come over. I definitely don't want to try to get through that guy's shield while I'm dealing with the Heide Knight, so let's take care of the Heide Knight. There we go. Played a little aggressive. It's okay. You can tell my hammer's doing more than my barbed club. That's okay. Club will catch up, I think, at some point. Maybe. Anyway, this is our new path. And you can go on this path the first time you visit Heide's, if you want. I don't recommend it, because there are two Heide Knights on this path, and both of them, even if you haven't beaten the Dragon Slayer yet, or Dragon Rider yet, they will automatically aggro and fight you. So, I don't recommend trying to go this way your first time. Unless you really know what you're doing. In which case, you know, have fun with that. Okay, you're coming at me. Okay, took some damage there, but that was stylish enough that I'm okay with it. Alright, come on, send combo my way. There we go. Ooh. Hey. Hey. Duh. Old Knight leggings. If we run into these before. Super heavy. Probably not, I guess not. But I recognize that item description, so I'm assuming we got some other part from them. Okay, one last Heide Knight and a mysterious red creature, and I'm going to use my powers of precognition to understand that it's probably best to draw Heide Knight's aggro rather than running up there. Just an idea. Heh. Okay, that's enough. Alright, so this Heide Knight's a little bit different, you may notice. The last couple that we fought all had swords. This one has a spear. That gives it a different moveset that I find even trickier than the sword. Luckily, it has long combos that leave it pretty open to backstabs, so if you can get a good backstab in, it'll go down a lot faster. Okay. Now then, I've been leading up to it for long enough. I mean, you know what that thing is, right? There's very few creatures in fantasy fiction that have such a visage. Scales, wings, a long neck, and fire. That, boys, is a dragon. I mean, I think it's a dragon. It might be a drake or a wyvern. I don't know. It's so hard to tell. I think it's a dragon, though. Anyway, it dropped something. Petrified dragon bone. That's a good hint that it's a dragon. And a watch dragon Parma. A shield decorated by intertwined dragons. The black and white contrast depicts the ebb and flow of the fate of all things living, and the serpentine dragons that watch over the march of time. The bearer of the shield would be blessed by great fortune in battle. So take a look at its blocking stats there over here. It's got not perfect physical block, but some damn good magic, fire, and decent lightning and dark reduction. Curse and petrify reduction are pretty good too, although I don't know how often that's going to come up. It's a dang solid shield. It's not perfect in any way, but it's really good in a lot of ways. And it is, if you'll allow me to show it ever so briefly, it is quite stylish. But no shields in this playthrough. Once you defeat that probably dragon, another one of these levers will emerge from the ground, so you do have to defeat it. And you can use this to lower the drawbridge. Now, if you try to rush onto here and fight the dragon without fighting the Heide Knights or the Old Knight, they are all gonna come over and say hi. Did I forget to pick up that item? I'll do that. Hold on. Yeah, this is one of those confrontations that you really can't kind of rush through, since you do need to defeat the dragon in order to progress, and it's pretty hard to do that when you got a bunch of enemies on your tail. Okay, not much. Anyway, there is, you can't see the gate here. Is there a fog gate visible now? Whatever, there's a boss through that doorway, so I'm gonna summon some help. Not that I need it, but I want it. So, first off, Devotee Scarlet. We met her over in Earthen Peak. And I'm also gonna go grab Masterless Glencar, who we also met in Earthen Peak, but we originally met here in Hades. He helped us with the Dragon Rider. So it's a reunion of sorts. Oh, Scarlet, sorry to have you run over here like this. Let's go, folks. So this is a totally optional boss. You do not have to fight it. If you come try to fight it, you can fight it as your first boss. I don't recommend it. You will probably get your butt handed to you. However, it's in a weird place where the first time you come here, probably not a good idea to fight it, but then you don't have much of a reason to come back. So if you ever think to, you'll probably be outclassing it quite a bit unless you make a deliberate effort like I have to come back at a reasonable time. Human effigies. Give you a lot there in case you want to try again and summon a lot on this one. Okay, so this is a boss that people will probably have a lot to say about. Let's see how much I can say about it. This is the old Dragon Slayer. Does he look familiar? Ooh. So you may recognize this guy. He'll never say his name, but this is some sort of Ornstein. You'll remember Ornstein from the first Dark Souls game as one part of beloved combo Ornstein and Smo. But there are a couple differences between this Ornstein and that Ornstein. Notably, first off, I'm pretty sure this guy's a little bit smaller. Not totally sure. Second off, his armor's a lot darker. Third off, he uses dark instead of lightning. And fourth off, he's a lot easier when he doesn't have his rotund friend. And when there's just a party going on, stun-locking him. I almost feel bad. Get him. Nice work, folks. Good, good, good. So yeah, the old Dragon Slayer. Before we go through this door, let's talk about him a little bit. Check in on his soul. Where is it? Here we go. The old Dragon Slayer is reminiscent of a certain knight who appears in old legends. And that's kind of all we get. And let's see, we also got a ring, I believe. The old Leo ring. The beloved ring of a dragon-slaying knight. Strengthens thrust weapon counterattacks. After many years of use, the ring's face is worn down, but close inspection reveals an engraved lion. So, this is a boss that has prompted a lot of discussion, or at least it prompted a lot when Dark Souls 2 first came out. In that, is it Ornstein? Or is it not Ornstein? Because, I mean, on the surface, it's, hey, you remember that beloved boss from Dark Souls 1? Well, here he is again. But it's kind of a pale imitation, because he's weaker, he doesn't have his friend Smo. Well, wasn't really a friend, Smo was an asshole to him. But you still got kind of the pillar look going on in this arena, but a lot smaller. And he's just overall a lot easier than Ornstein was in Dark Souls 1, which, you know, a lot of people took as, oh man, Dark Souls 2 is so unoriginal. This plus the Belfry Gargoyles is like, man, they're just trying to ride off nostalgia for the first game, and they don't have any clever ideas of their own, which is just not true. And then the question is it Ornstein? Is it really Ornstein? Or someone else? Or is it a reincarnation of Ornstein? I don't really know. I couldn't tell you. There isn't enough information. People are still not really decided. And then Dark Souls 3 came out. That just makes things more complicated. But I think, unlike the Belfry Gargoyle fight, the one in Belfry Luna, that was just like the gargoyles, but more of them. Way more of them. Way too many, in fact. This actually does serve as a kind of counterpart or counterpoint to the original Ornstein and Smo fight, because this is a very different feeling Ornstein. You know, his armor is really dark and faded and not glorious. He uses dark moves. He's alone. He's overall weaker. If it is the real Ornstein, who is left from Anor Londo, and I'll remind you that the Ornstein we fought in Anor Londo was an illusion, a replication of Anor Londo's golden perfect time, that it was no longer. If it is the real Ornstein, it goes to show just how far he has fallen, how old and weak and decrepit he has become. As especially signified by the fact that there was literally a dragon outside his front door, sleeping, while the old dragon slayer was inside. Clearly, he was not doing his job. So in that sense, it serves as a nice sequel, I guess, of sorts to the original fight. Now, if you still think it's annoying fan service, wait till Dark Souls 3. But overall, I kind of like it. I don't like the Belfry Gargoyle fight. I like this one. Other theories include this is Ornstein's soul, like, reincarnated into a new body, which is why you get the soul itself. But it's not the real him, because the real him's great. Or it's just some dude dressed up as Ornstein. I don't really know what I believe. I think the parallel is more interesting than the actual lore. Anyway, moving on through the Cathedral of Blue. We've got a guy, and we've got a chest. And chests, obviously, take priority. Cracked blue eye orbs. What's the deal with those, dude?
Transient being. You have obtained proof you are worthy of joining our order. You may call yourself one of us, and are free to plant your roots in this garden of the gods. Be proud. I, Targray, do proclaim from this day you are a Knight of the Blue. Rejoice and bask in your new honor. You are no longer a mere vagabond. You are now a guardian, a Knight of the Blue. Proud Knight, take this. Wear this ring and shine light upon stone. Then you will hear the voices of the Blue Apostles. Listen for their cries of help and repel the malicious invaders. This is the proud work of the Knights of the Blue, the way they elevate themselves to a higher plane. I'll provide what you need. You may visit me at any time.
Alright, so the Blue Sentinels. We've heard them mentioned before. Let's check out their ring. The Guardian Seal. Join this covenant and wear this ring to be automatically summoned to the worlds of Blue Apostles, who have been invaded by dark spirits. The ring is engraved with the crest of the Way of Blue, symbolizing the dignified oath to protect each world's master from dark spirits. So the Blue Sentinels are a counterpart to the Way of Blue. The Way of Blue being the covenant that we entered when we talked to the crestfallen dude over in Majula. In the Way of Blue, you wear the ring, and if you get invaded, a Blue Sentinel can come in and help you out. Here, you are a Blue Sentinel, and you can be summoned to another world to help someone who has been invaded. This system generally doesn't really work because a lot of people don't stay in the Way of Blue, and a lot of people don't really bother being in the Blue Sentinels because of that, and because of that, a lot of people don't bother staying in the Way of Blue. So, but we've also heard about the Blue Sentinels from Maulin, the Armorer, who gave the impression that they are kind of a mob kind of group, at least in his homeland, who offer protection in the fact that if you pay them money, they will not break their kneecaps. Your kneecaps, rather. So maybe these guys aren't super trustworthy. Let's see what else this guy has to say. I'm not going to forget about that chest, don't worry.
Proud knight, you may come to me, Targray, for help.
Dual bow gesture. Cool. That's a good bow if I remember right. Let's try it out when we are done dealing with this. So he's got a couple weapons. Nothing crazy. Got a couple miracles. I think we've already read that description. This is probably interesting. Scholars bicker over whether this is the original lightning spear or a derivative. One can never fully gain full control of the power of the gods. With little favor from Lady Luck, this spell will destroy your foes. So, lightning, you'll remember, was the signature move of Gwyn, the lightning father dude in Dark Souls 1. So this would seem to indicate that the Way of Blue has some sort of connection with that tradition. Then also got a couple healing items, including a bolt stone. So again, tying together that lightning connection. And Ornstein, you know, if that was the real Ornstein, had a connection with lightning once upon a time. I know there could be a connection here between the Blue Sentinels and Orlando.
We Knights of the Blue must rely upon one another to achieve our greater goal. Present your token of fidelity to test your strength against other knights.
So the token of fidelity is the covenant reward item. When you successfully help someone who has been invaded, you'll get a token of fidelity, and you can trade those in here in order to level up in the covenant and get wonderful prizes.
Proud knight, aim high in all things. We knights must protect the apostles of Blue. Never forget this fact, and by your honor, never eschew your training. There are others in this forsaken place who have only a lust for blood. They conspire to ambush Blue apostles on the road. Knight of the Blue, protect our apostles from these bloodthirsty brigands. Take pride in your duty as a Blue Knight. Work hard and pursue a higher plane. We Knights of the Blue must rely to proud. We never forget this fact. Do your work, and I will lend you strength.
All right, I think that's everything he has to say. So let's open up this other chest. The suspense has been killing me. Cleric's Parma and Tower Shield. Let's see what it's all about. A Parma used by clerics on pilgrimage, enchanted with a somewhat fragile blessing that allows spells to be deflected by parrying. Unfortunately, the shield provides very little physical defense, and it's more of a lucky charm than a proper shield. So again, if you look at those defenses over there, pretty darn good. Magic, fire, lightning, and what's that last one? Is that dark? Yeah, decent dark reduction. Again, not amazing at anything, but pretty darn good at a couple things. And then the Tower Shield. Very heavy and requiring great strength to handle, but provides excellent defense. Uses a shield bash instead of parrying, which all great shields do. 100% damage, or physical damage reduction. That's nice. All right. And one last word on connection between the Blue Sentinels and Orlando. A lot of people have drawn similarities between the architecture of Heide's Tower of Flame and Orlando. So it's possible that they were influenced, inspired, and so traditions carried on in that way. And there's a bonfire down here. Hooray! Nothing else, though. Yeah, the, the, whatever this place is called, the Blue World, Blue Cathedral, kind of a small area. Anyway, let's see. I've got some things I could trade in and things betwixt, so let's go meet our bird friends. I guess we'll come here occasionally, maybe after each spoke or something. Where's the ladder? Gosh, I'm so lost. It's been a while, okay. All right, let's get some fabulous prizes, shall we?
Give us both. Yes, you! Give us Suki! Yay! Give us both.
Okay.
Yes, you!
I wish these birds would be quiet. They're very talkative. So cool-ish.
You! Give us both. Yes, yeah!
And a life gem, always appreciated.
You! Give us both. Yes, you! Give
A
us
faint stone. I think that's the magic infusing item. Let me double check. No, what is it? Dark Knight. Yes. And then we got 3 petrified somethings. Let's see what our luck looks like. An old whip.
You! Give us... Yes!
Let's see, did we have an old whip before? I don't think we did. It's a leather whip that has seen plenty of use. It appears no different from an ordinary whip, but is charmed by an ancient blessing that boosts damage inflicted on hollows. The blessing is likely the work of a cleric, but whether the spell is good or evil is unclear. Whoop. Twinkling Titanite, always good. Alright. Big money, no whammies. Yeah! The Demon's Great Hammer. Oh, I was wondering when this was going to show up. So the Demon's Great Hammer. A great hammer made of unknown materials, perhaps it is stone or even wood. The origins of its name are unclear. Its tremendous weight suggests that it was never intended for humans. Perhaps it was an offering to the demons that appear in legend. So that's a lot of perhapses and maybes, but... I mean, you recognize the thing, right? I mean, you've seen this thing. If you've played 30 minutes of Dark Souls 1, you've seen this thing. This is the weapon that the Asylum Demon... No? I'm a lot of things. This is the weapon that the Asylum Demon wields. So, it is literally the Demon's Great Hammer, because it is a great hammer that belonged to a demon. Maybe it was an offering to a demon. Maybe it was given to the Asylum Demon as an offering, and that's part of the backstory, but that's all perhaps. But, very strong, very heavy weapon that requires a lot of strength to wield. If I really get my strength up there, maybe I might swap out one of my strike weapons for it, but I need to up my my carrying capacity a lot too, so not gonna bet on it. But it is very cool, and if you get really lucky with the petrified somethings, and if you get a petrified something as a starting gift, you could have it as your first weapon. It'd be pretty cool. Anyway, let's head back to Majula. Now, one thing that I overlooked last episode, but I checked later.
You've been long away. What would you like? Well, I've only one thing to provide, and we both know what that is.
So, Chloanne is selling large Titanite shards now. I'm not sure when she started, but getting one of these means I can do some more upgrading.
Visit me again, whenever you please.
And heck, I might be able to do more with the Petrified Dragonbone and Twinkling Titanite that I picked up. So, let's see. Yep. Black Steel Katana up. And heck, one more. Looks like I am short on Twinkling and Petrified Dragonbones, though. That's fine. That's fine. I got plenty of power in my arsenal. And yeah, this is a Twinkling. Look at that, 50 base stat strength necessary to one hand, but an A strength scaling.
I'll be around if you make it back.
Now then, I'm gonna hold on to some of my souls because there is something I want to buy from Shalquar, but I want to do it at the beginning of next episode so that the logic of me doing so makes sense. So I'm gonna get a level probably.
Bearer of the curse seek lest.
Yeah. Let's get our endurance up one. All right. So that wraps up that little side adventure. In the next episode, we will be heading out on a new spoke of the world. But until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.